Hi, my name is Nigel Kent. I'm a 73-year-old gay guy who lives in a mobile home, a single-wide mobile home, with a couple of marvelous creatures, uh, Felix Unger and Sassy Hightower, cats they are. And they've always been cats, and I've always been gay, so we have a consistency here that's just astounding. Behind me, you can see the analog weather station. That's that's a that's one of those cast iron 1920 engineered products. You know, like galvanized sheet steel. It'll probably be around in the next millennia, and it's still pretty accurate. You know, and it doesn't tend to wear out or anything. There's also, there back in that general area, you'll see some stuff that associated old bits of trees and things that I have there for the cats to romp around on, since they're they're imprisoned for life. Oh my goodness! I started speaking, and Felix, Mr. Felix Unger, we refer to him, has actually come forth from the from one of his hidden spots. Yeah, I have little hidden spots all around. I'll talk about my cats another time, because I really wanted to respond to a comment that was made by Sarah Mayo, a marvelous lady from New York City, and she said that if you want if you want to hear it, if you want to know what silence is like, tell a joke about 9/11. Well, maybe I won't tell a joke. I did say at the time, I suppose it's too early to joke about it, and I guess it still is. But I do want to say something about 9/11. It is, by the way, a consummate victory for the terrorists, because after 9/11 we lost our freedom and our privacy, and lots and lots of money, billions and billions of dollars, and it cost them, what was it, 10 volunteer peasants, disgruntled citizens. And so the trade-off was that we lost. I mean, by any stretch of the imagination. Now, sadly, we're our own worst enemy, because parachutes were invented when tall buildings first started to be designed and built. And they were designed not as an escape from aeroplanes or even hot air balloons, but from tall buildings. And yet, in all of the geniuses that lived on the top floors of those towers, I guess not one of them had a parachute. And I'm guessing that if they could have gotten one delivered, they would have paid any amount of money for one. No parachutes, to my knowledge, no hang gliders, no weather balloons tied to lawn chairs, nothing. Just, the flying leap of death that has beleaguered stockbrokers on walls in New York City streets for several decades. So so you figure out that the genius on the top floor scored a 0, and the dumbass free fall desk scored 100%. Is that cruel? Well, if it's cruel to say if it's cruel to admit that you're really stupid and died needlessly, yeah, I guess it is cruel. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me that anybody would be so unwittingly dumb, and the whole conspiracy of that process is just absurd to me. I mean, they come rolling up there with a hook and ladder truck. what does that go up to, the 10th floor, the 20th floor, or whatever? I mean, geez, no really concept of what the hell they were trying to do there. So basically, it's a write-off. If you're in a tall building and it catches on fire, you're dead. That's it. So there's nothing funny about that, Dave. And no, there isn't. They're still building tall buildings, and they're just, still haven't learned, have they at all? So I don't live in a tall building, you can tell. I wish it were I wish it were an Airstream trailer. I love living in an Airstream trailer because they're very portable. This D9 here is not all that portable. They call it a mobile home, but it's pretty well set, and it's pretty well settled into the terrain around here. So I'm guessing that that the trailer and I and the two cats are probably here for the duration until the next thing. My my life has been a series of durations, and have been rudely interrupted by a few major events. Some of them were earthquakes, some of them were forest fires, and some of them were political upheavals and financial crises. But anyhow, all of that said and done, we're just happy to report that we are safe and sound. We can get out of the window. Our life is on a minimalist level, and we're happy about that. I don't have a clothes dryer. You can see my clothes dryer up there. My clothes dryer cost $2.49 for the rope, and $1.99 for the clothespins, and the drying effort is free, and it humidifies the house. That's also my new storage locker for socks, because it turns out you not only can dry them in the dryer, but you can leave them there until you want to wear them. So if you want, if you want to make your life real complicated, go out and spend $400 or $500 for a dryer, and $400 or $500 a year on gas and running it, or you can think about an alternative. So what I'm saying is, if you want to live to the maximum, this ain't it. You want to be watching some other guy's video who wants to sell you something. I don't want to sell you anything. I couldn't care less whether you buy anything that I have. Well, in fact, nothing that I have is for sale. The only thing that's here is me and the cats, and you can't have any of us. So my life of being a wage slave is over. I'm on my grandfather's trust fund, and that's where I intend to spend the rest of my life. So when that goes, I'll sue the government, because it was a non-voluntary insurance policy that I had with the U.S. government, and I have a contract for life, and I intend to hold them to it. Well, folks, this is Nigel Kent wishing you all the best from D9. May your life be as blessed as mine has been, and may your children be a lot prettier.